Oh, there we go.
Oh, were we silent?
Yeah, we were silent for a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's restart.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Rise and Grind.
Mm-hmm.
We're on episode number 7. Couple quick announcements before we start going into today's topic. We are now live as a podcast, so you guys can catch us on the road, catch us on your phone, catch us wherever you want. If you got one of these Apple HomePod or Alexas.
Oh, really? Those have access to iTunes?
Yeah, they have access to podcast apps. So
Awesome.
you can play us in the shower, whatever it may be.
Yeah. That's where I want to
I know you guys all want to hear my voice in the shower, but I know we're for sure on iTunes and Overcast right now, two of my favorite apps, and we might still be waiting for Google to pick us up, but hope you guys check us out on there. We also have a YouTube channel, so if you're ever looking at getting the historical video, a little bit easier to dig it up than Facebook, but just check out the NutriGround Facebook page, and don't look up. Well, you can look up Rise and Grind, but it's under the NutriGround channel. Associated, affiliated, owned by, and everything.
And operated. Wonderful. So today, episode 7. It's 7 episodes already.
7.
That's awesome. 7th episode. So we've dealt with, we've gone through our goal setting, and we've gone through execution and planning, and we've gone through going through challenges, and now, facing failure.
Facing failure. So this is like the next level challenge. Right?
Yeah, like so when the challenge is
where you couldn't overcome your challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you potentially failed, right? And failure's a real thing. We don't want to dip, duck, dive around it.
Yeah.
We want to figure out what it is, how to handle it, and what to do with it.
Embrace it,
right?
You really have to do that. So yeah, I think part of that is, and we were talking about this, is identifying whether or not what happened to you was truly failure. And I think I have an example of this from Grappling Industries.
Oh, yeah.
And back in October. Was super psyched for it. I picked up a bunch of Sambo to add to my grappling game, and I was really, really excited to execute some of it.
Really hard for it,
too. I did. And I ended up injuring my shoulder a week or two before competing, and I was a little bit nervous about it, but I still went through competing. And made it through my first gi match, and I won. It was really fun. And then my second gi match, I was against a really tough opponent, and we actually ended up going for the same technique at the same exact time. Tim Hiley, pro fighter for LFA. Check him out.
He's awesome. Old training partner of mine.
Yeah, we went for the same technique, and we bumped heads, and his head was a little bit tougher than mine, and my eyes started ballooning up.
Which is unbelievable because your head is as large as mine, and it's made of concrete.
Yeah.
So I'm very surprised that.
I developed a hematoma in my eyebrow, and that sucked. And then, so I'm all delirious, and I'm on the defense. And
hang on. You're underplaying this hematoma on your eyeball. You looked like
Quasimodo
or...
It was big. It was a
Sloth from the Goonies?
Yeah.
It was big. You looked like a caveman.
Yeah, it was bad.
For sure.
And then I actually ended up re-injuring my shoulders trying to scramble back onto the offensive. And I lost and had to drop out of the rest of the tournament.
So he gets off the mat, and he probably doesn't remember this because he was just blasted in the brain.
Yeah.
But he gets off the mat, and he's like, Barry, I'm hurt. I can't compete. And I walk up to him man, we got to get you straight to the... the paramedics, right? Because they have paramedics at these tournaments. He's like, yeah, man, my shoulder really hurts. I'm like, dude, I'm not taking you over there for your shoulder. You can't see your eyeball. How big of a thing this is. I don't even know how you can. Your eyes barely open and you're not even noticing it. I'm like, it's ridiculous. So you ended up having to go home early, and we sent you to the ER. They didn't do anything.
They said.
I was hoping they're going to cut it open or something.
Yeah, well, if it had gotten any bit worse, they were going to have to lance it.
Worse than what it was. It was bad.
He was saying if I couldn't see, they'd consider lancing it, but I told them I could see, which I could. But yeah, so and I felt like that I failed in that situation. Right. I was beating myself up pretty hard. I didn't like it.
You lost. You couldn't compete.
Yeah. it was gonna be my first time doing the advanced division, so I was really, really stoked for it. And and then it wasn't. It was what's the word? I didn't fail myself. I failed my goal, which was to get first place.
Yeah.
Right, but I didn't it wasn't something that I did personally, or like a lack of preparation that caused me to fail, which is, kind of what helped me get over it, was defining. So when you're planning your goals and you're trying to execute them, plan like failure conditions. Like, what are your failure conditions? What does failure mean?
Yeah, right. Because in our goals, we're defining success, right? And we're almost, when we do a goal, we're almost defining the peak success. A lot of times when you go for a goal, like, even if you get halfway there, or even if you make a little bit of progress, like, it can be success, right? And I think, for you, you didn't win the tournament and you didn't win gold, but you trained really hard. When you were training really hard, you probably learned better jiu-jitsu than you did, like, the rest of your life, right? You went out there, you put it on the line, you built up your confidence with competing. You got, 1.5 matches in before getting blasted in the skull.
Yeah.
So I don't, you failed that peak of your goal, but I wouldn't say it was a complete failure.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Especially that profile picture, Talon Morris. Check it out. Awesome shot. Thank you, Matthew Rudder. Got a sweet picture of me locking up the toe hold in my first match.
Oh, I was hoping there's a picture of your face.
I have a couple of those, too.
I'm going to pull that up right now so everyone can see it. And this is kind of one of the first things that we want to talk about is, identifying if it's actually failure, or if it's just a setback.
Yeah.
Or,
it was just a setback.
Yeah, I think it was just a setback too, right? There's more tournaments coming up. Combat Corner's coming up in May.
Absolutely.
Go crush that one.
Yeah. So you got to accept that. Acknowledge the feeling of because even if it wasn't your fault, or if it was truly a failure or just a setback, it's still not going to make you feel the best. So accepting it, acknowledging it, and dealing with it as fast as possible, and trying to learn from that situation. Like, what can you do better the next time so that you don't meet those same conditions, right? I mean, you sometimes you can't avoid everything. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the only time it really is a failure is if you didn't learn from it. If you end it right there, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to give up on this goal because I tried it once and it didn't work out.
Yeah. And with your failure, right? Yours was like a freak accident too. Like, how do you prepare for that the next time? Were you supposed to wear a rugby helmet?
Yeah.
You can't do that in jiu-jitsu. They do make those sweet wrestling headgears that have a pad right here that maybe it would save you. But
it just happens.
A lot of other times when you fail your goal, you need to reflect on it and figure out what can you do next time, or your next sprint for that goal, or getting to the next level, or the next time you define a goal. What can you do to not have that specific failure again? Right? And again, let's not necessarily focus on the failure, but all the little wins that you hit along the way.
Yeah.
Right? The big thing, you didn't win gold, but you learn a ton of stuff that is going to prepare you for the next tournament in an even better way.
Yeah.
And you're going to go into that tournament as a stronger competitor, working again from the bottom, right? You're not going in as the champion. I know you gave Tim a good run for his money for as much as you could.
Tried.
You went hard, but that was awesome.
You got me. Yeah. So don't dwell on it. Don't you can't let it it's discouraging, but it can't be defeating or soul crushing. You just have to get over it and get back at it and get after it again.
And sometimes let's take yesterday for an example. Sometimes you're put in a position where you start from failure, and you have to make it success too, right? You start from a bad spot. And, you might think that, man, this is hard. There's no way I'm going to succeed at this. And you have to figure out a way to do it. So yesterday at the academy.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy. Crazy. Talon and I went out for some wings at Atlas at later in the afternoon. And I get a phone call from my dad who owns the business next door. And he's like, hey, there's a van a minivan full of kids in your parking lot. I was like, that's weird. It's like 3:30. We don't start class until 6 tonight.
We don't have a van.
I don't know why. Maybe they're just looking inside the gym, whatever it may be. And we're sitting around and we're thinking about it, and we're just like, hey, we were talking about theoretically doing a Girl Scout thing at 3:30 on a Friday. We didn't pick a hard date or anything like that.
No.
So we gave the Girl Scout person a call, and we're like, Talon called them. Like, hey, are you outside the gym right now?
Yep.
Yep. So we get all of our stuff to go, and we get to the gym, and there's like literally 30 people. It's like
Just
15
crowded
Girl
around the
Scouts
front.
and their moms outside the gym, and we're like, okay.
Running a self-defense seminar.
I guess we're
Let's
running
do
a
it.
self-defense seminar today. And we got in, and luckily they had someone who's kind of doing a first portion of crafts with the girls and teaching them things like confidence and
Affirmations.
positive affirmations in the morning, right? And luckily it gave us a solid 20 minutes to plan and like get changed and stuff like that. But we were both talking to ourselves at first, like, oh, this is terrible. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? But that was like the complete wrong approach. And
Wrong approach.
And like we were setting ourselves, for one, we were failing because we were like a half hour late and we didn't know that this was happening.
Yeah.
We weren't in a position to make it successful and plan for it or anything like that. It was like all just right away. But I think we changed our mindset and figured out that, hey, we can't approach it like this, right? Or it is going to be for sure a failure.
Yeah.
So we
crushed it. Yeah, we got out. It was an amazing event. We came together. We figured out the techniques we're going to teach. They're all techniques that are
taught a little bit of
sound.
Taught a little bit of the real grappling stuff.
Yeah.
Right, the real deal, jiu-jitsu,
self-defense stuff.
Taught some
the girls
punch block
were
defense.
Great. They listened. They had fun. They were smiling. That's what we aim for in any of our classes here.
Sadly, Ryan, they did not bring me any cookies.
No
I do appreciate
tag-alongs.
Girl Scout cookies, by the way. I support them fully. I like the peanut butter ones.
Yeah, that's the tag-alongs. That's what I'm
Tag-alongs.
talking about. Yeah. And then we taught them how to punch. They had to break a board, and it was
Build their confidence.
Great time. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was a blast. Check out the pictures on our Facebook page.
Yes.
It was fun. But yeah, perfect example. Talon's example, he hit failure, or he thought was failure at first, at the end, right? And sometimes you seem like you're just set up for failure and you have to make the best of it. And, I think we could have done a couple things better, but man, I think for what we had available,
did a really good job.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Really, really good job.
Luckily, a couple, Fuji showed up to help coach us. And it was amazing.
And that goes with finding support. If you're in a bad place, or you feel like you failed, or you're having a hard time defining whether or not you failed at what you're trying to do, talk to somebody. Definitely talk to a trusted, like one of your accountability partners that you have for your goal setting.
I hope everyone by now has an accountability partner in their life, at least one person. Right? And not just like, hey, yeah, my mom's my accountability partner, but like someone who you actually go to with your goals, who stays on top of you. Mm-hmm. They don't just wait there for you. They're there for you, asking about it.
Like, what'd you do today?
I do that for quite a few people.
Yeah, and people appreciate that as much as you end up becoming like an annoying. I mean, because like for one of my friends, it actually started to he started to get upset with me a little bit because I was being, I wasn't really being a friend through his time. I was being the accountability. Yeah. I was like, dude, no, get after it, get on it. Let's go. And I was being kind of annoying, but now he's, much better off for it. And so yeah, use your support network, to help you out.
I love it. You can find success in any sort of failure.
Yes.
Right. And that's what you always need to keep in mind, right? If it's trying something new, you need to realize it's something new, right? Every time you try something new, you're going to fail at it.
Yeah. You just got to keep.
And if you didn't fail at it, it likely wasn't worth trying.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But like, if you didn't necessarily grow from it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really easy to celebrate a success it's really difficult to overcome a failure.
I'm going to quote you on that.
You should, because it is. It's a fact.
Awesome.
So
you want to read a little Michael Jordan?
yeah, this one actually.
MJ quote.
So I got a little quote for you from one of the best to ever do the game.
Wait, what are his nicknames in Space Jam?
Oh, dude,
he's got a ton of nicknames
know
in Space
this.
Jam.
Space Jam was
best
my
movie ever.
proverbial jam back in the day. Oh, well,
The King of Air.
the king of air.
I know, something like that.
Anyway,
There's gotta be some good ones.
So this one really, really surprised me. But quote from Michael Jordan: "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." And that is why I succeed. Why is that? Why he succeeds, Perry? What's your insight on that?
Because, with any major success, there's going to be failure along the way, right? You can't have a career like Michael Jordan, still potentially one of the best. I'm not a big basketball player, big basketball fan, but
Real, still solid.
the best, basketball players in history, not just with his athletic career, but what he's turned it into with all of his endorsements and his shoe lines and his clothing lines. And, he's a true business person as well.
Yeah.
Right? Man, he does Hanes. I bought underwear because of Michael Jordan. I have a lot of people have bought underwear because of Michael Jordan.
For sure.
But, it just shows that people like that fail a lot, and they fail over and over and over again. And you need to have that failure drive you. And you need to let that failure help you learn. Tenacity, right? And it helps you learn, succeed, and it lets you really know what success feels like. And it's hard to know what success feels like unless you failed in the past.
Oh yeah. It makes it way better. Your first gold after that last silver is way better.
Absolutely.
Way better. I like it. And it's part of like growing from, you don't necessarily grow from succeeding. If you execute your plan correctly, you know that plan works. Yep. Excellent. But you didn't have anything to improve on. You have no processes and no data to kind of improve your process. Now, when you mess up, you've got something you can change. You got something you can learn from.
Yep.
It's like muscles. Muscles tear, they fail, and then more muscle grows on top of it.
Awesome. So, quick outline of what we talked about today, right? Identifying what failure is. Is it truly a failure? Is it a setback? Is it a challenge? How do you define it, right? And that's going to be dependent on your goal, right? Accepting and acknowledging the feeling of failure, learning from it, not dwelling in it, taking action on it, and finding people to support you, right? I think if you can follow those easy steps, you're prepared. You're prepared to get through failure, but also get to the next level, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you guys listening. If you guys are checking us out on Facebook, please share this with your friends.
Like this video,
Yeah.
send us hearts.
Since we are a podcast now, I think the big thing is, leave us a review, leave us a rating.
Yeah, please.
It helps other people
Subscribe.
see our podcast.
Yeah.
See our
Like,
podcast.
share, subscribe. That's
Hear
what all
our
the...
podcast. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Bye now.